Cleveland Clinic, Florida provides individualized treatment plans for excellent outcomes of health problems ranging from the most common to the most complex, even in cases considered untreatable by others. Cleveland Clinic, Florida. Every life deserves world-class care.
I'm appalled at what you said on that pod thing. It's disgusting.
This is the After the Show podcast. It's where we get honest and real with yo ass. So sit back, relax, have a blast, because it's time for the After the Show podcast.
Yeah. Welcome. Thank y'all for dialing into the ATS here today. Just so you know, we were kind of having a quick discussion before we started this whole thing. This is kind of our podcast experimentation week. We're, kind of checking things around, and every now and then we like to just say, okay, let's see if there's a better way to do what it is we do, and for many reasons. And one of those is it helps for us to get good numbers with our company, and maybe our eventual goal that we'll just do a KVJ podcast, and it'll all be different. You can get what we love to do in a different form, and it'd be a lot easier for us. But we always try to go through the filter of what's best for the audience, for the most amount of people, what is good for you guys. And that's why we appreciate all the feedback you're giving us on the experimentation we're doing this week. But we've said, just give us this week, give us feedback, and then we'll figure out how to do this thing right.
But just so you guys know, from our perspective, this is why we're doing this. Our company puts out a list every month of the top people making podcasts that work for them. And so it's important to us. We want to be impressive to our new company. We want to do great things so that they look kindly upon us. We all want to achieve great things at our job. And that list that comes out every month is why we're changing the way we're doing things.
Kim G in the chat room, who was very vocal yesterday about our boring discussion. Here we go with the lame talk again. I don't know what to tell you, Kim G.
Yeah.
We just got so many emails on the subject that it bears repeating that we're still in that trial.
No, you're lame, Virginia.
I am lame.
Oddly enough, and just so you guys know, you may be having a really bad experience with it. We're getting people who are having good experiences with it for different reasons, and so we're getting a monstrous stack of emails. We're going through all of them. We're trying to find out what's right. Like we said, give us this week.
I like what Harold says. He goes, fudge the podcast numbers like everyone else does. Which, by the way, there's a lot of...
You can't do that, though.
No. He's making a joke, and we're not going to do that.
No.
But he has a very valid point. There are so many fudge numbers on not only YouTube and podcasts, but on Twitter. There's a lot of the fakery out there.
Lies always come around to bite you in the ass eventually. You're better off never fudging.
And what we might wind up doing for the company is we might go back to the way that it used to be with how we did up the podcast and just throw a flag up to our audience, say, hey, we did an experiment, and this is what we found. It's not best for our audience for us to put the podcast out this way, but if we did, this would be what our numbers are. So you keep throwing these stats in front of us like this matters and these are our goals and we're competing against each other. But just to let you know, we would be actually right here if we did it this way, not right there. And these numbers don't mean crap.
Right.
Because it's not the best thing for our audience. If that's the case. So give us the week and we'll figure it out. But do give us the feedback, mail at kvjshow.com. And we'll do what is best for the most amount of people listening to the show. Okay, we got a couple other things going on here. Stephanie from Pompano said, I know you guys are getting calls, emails about coming down to Broward, and I just want to say that I agree. I used to live in Port St. Lucie, and I came out to see you guys once in a Jello wrestling match with Jay Bird. It's probably over 10 years ago. Can we bring that back? I believe it's for St. Patrick's Day.
So I was just talking to somebody about that. That was the birth of Hulk Hogan. I wouldn't wrestle the women, but I'd have to stand in Jello, and they'd have to try to tackle me. I'd have to stand there, and Port St. Lucie chicks play so dirty. They would gouge my fucking eyeballs. They'd take their fingers, jam them in my butthole.
Yeah, I remember that.
Oh,
Sounds like a lot of fun.
It was terrible, Kevin. One girl got me bleeding. She scratched my back so bad. I had a fucking claw mark on my back.
Look, it's a jungle out there. Stop bitching.
But that was the birth of Hulk Hogan, and now look what Hulk Hogan is.
I know. Now we're paying the price.
Hulk Hogan would love it if girls wanted to wrestle him.
And check his oil.
He's gotten stronger.
No, they check the oil differently up in the pizzle, man. They're a little too violent.
They really like to go in deep, huh?
Oh my gosh.
Oh yeah.
I'd like to get a piece of you and some Jello.
There's no way you could take me down. That I know for a fact. You'd play dirty. You'd scratch me. You'd put up your fingers in my your fingers in my dooter.
In your dick hole.
In my dooter.
I'm going for the dick hole.
But I don't think she could take me down, Coach.
You don't think so,
Do you
huh?
think a minute on the clock, Virginia taking me down? Do you think she could?
She'd find a dirty way to do it,
Yeah,
and then
I'll
there'd be a
just-
discrepancy of,
I'll bring a
she
knife.
did it this way. And
I'll bring a knife and I'll just cut your Achilles tendon.
No, any way possible. You can
Right.
use your hands. You can use your feet. You can't use any kind of weapons. There's no way you take me down. I'm putting the challenge out there.
She definitely gonna cheat.
Definitely.
Bring it. You can't cheat this.
That's the only thing you know for certain.
Am I fighting you or am I fighting Hoagie?
Hoagie's gone for a while.
Okay.
How's your hair doing, by the way? You got a cap on today.
Terrible. I'm in so much pain. I just didn't feel like bitching about it again for the third day. Got a couple emails about that. Stop your bitching.
It's hair dye, you pansy.
Everyone's got something to say, Virginia.
He gave himself chemical burns on his scalp and his face
My lips.
and his lips.
My lips are so raw.
Well, you're not supposed to get the hair dye on your lips.
I didn't. I did not. It does something in my bloodstream. It dries out my skin. Something horrific. My face is so dry. So dry. You could write dry.
So dry.
You could write dry on my face.
It's tough stuff. Engineer Keith sent us an email, kind of give us a little bit of an update about what went down with Bamboozle on Saturday, the Little Smile scavenger hunt up and down Clematis Street in West Palm. And he said, V, I did forget to say that I Eat My Poo was my team name.
What?
Yes.
Well, you won something.
Yeah, I solicited my teammates for name input, but they didn't respond. Needless to say, I thoroughly enjoyed getting the Bamboozle volunteers to say our team name, to which I always reply, gross. I eat my poo.
I was so hammered. I did not get the joke.
I eat my poo and then I'm going to swear at you.
When I finally got the joke, that's when I started cursing.
He said, when we won Best Video, but thought the winners were being announced at 8 p.m. When I got there, I saw everybody was leaving, so I asked Virginia what happened. They announced the winners at 7, not as they had announced at 8. I guess approximately 8 means ask us day of. So we know for next year. So apparently they were told to return at 8, and they got there at 7 to hear the announcements, and everybody was leaving. And they go, where y'all going? They'd be going, it's over.
Well, it started at 5, and it went to 7, and I think we announced the winners at like 7:30.
Bamboozle started at 5? What the shit was I doing there at 3?
I was there at 2:30. Don't give me nothing.
Yeah, I think they started the clock at 4.
Yeah.
Yeah.
What the
Oh, wait,
shit?
they started the clock at 4, so we got there
Oh,
at
boy.
3. That's not bad.
Engineer Keith saying he was told to return at 8 for the announcement. And
That's
he said,
not right.
Okay.
None
said
of
when
it's right.
He said when he got back at 7, everybody was leaving. He was like, where are you guys going? Like, it's over.
It was over at 6.
Y'all, we just listed 7 different fucking times. You told me to get there at 3.
You just honestly, you ended this thing now at 3 different times, Virginia.
Wait,
Wow. And she's
Hold
the
on.
organizer.
I am not the organizer. That is not my event. That's why I was so drunk, because I have nothing to do with it. I'm just the on-stage announcer.
I just heard 2:33, 4, 5, 6, 7, and 8.
So
Wow.
there's a bunch of different things. So registration.
It doesn't matter.
All right, never mind.
Well, just maybe you can see Engineer Keith's confusion.
I think I get it.
When they cut the race off, you're supposed to come right back.
Okay.
Yeah, but you're talking to drunk people.
SG sent an email in, said, FYI, El Camino, the Breaking Bad movie, the release date is October 11th, 2019, not sometime next year, as Virginia said.
So Virginia's wrong again. What time did it start?
Times and release dates. Don't listen to her about any kind of digital time.
It comes out in
or
December or March, but I think it might be April.
I was given bad information.
Just roll over on somebody. Play somebody.
Kevin gave me bad information.
You roll over on Kevin. I roll over on Denny.
Got this from Franny about our experiment we did today. And you still go online and they'll say, yeah, lemons float, limes don't. And you're like, wait, what? And then we tried it and both floated today on the show.
Ours did. We cut them. We did everything to them.
They were some people. I don't think they heard the whole segment. They go, they didn't float because you guys cut them. We tried it at the beginning without cutting them at all.
Right.
Yeah. So Franny said, I finally get to use my 15-year-old chemistry degree for something. When there is any reference to water density, it's assuming pure water with no dissolved solids such as minerals. If you want to see if the experiment really works, try purified water. This is the same concept that leads things to have more buoyancy in salt water. So maybe we just using the tap water like we did, threw off the experiment.
But then, no, it doesn't. It didn't fucking, it floated in tap water.
Well, I think she's saying use purified water.
So tap water is not purified
Because it's got
water.
minerals in it, and that affects the buoyancy.
At this point, this is a little past her pay grade.
I mean, it's a little stupid for this. It's a lot of work. Will a lemon float? Who gives a fuck, actually?
I still like the idea of what's more painful, lemon in the eye or lime in the eye.
Well, we still do that. We got the lemon and lime. We can do
We
that
do.
experiment. Do lemon in one eye and lime in the other.
They're in the trash can.
Yeah,
wanna do it-
which one can you open first?
You want to do it tomorrow? I want to meditate on this.
I don't know if it's a good idea.
Not today. My face is too swollen, and I have too many cuts in my lip.
Yeah, he's got chemical burns. Let's pour lemon juice in them.
Oh, it hurts so fucking bad. Oh, my God.
You would scream.
I would cry.
Steven sent an email, said, I love Virginia.
But
It's a discussion about full moons. And this would be like a discussion on the show. He said, BD Monster. So this is what I would say in the discussion. Virginia, here's the evidence that proves full moons don't mean anything. And they don't. I'm a doctor, and if any doctor says it makes a difference, they're just falling prey to confirmation bias. Virginia's response to that, well, I just believe what I believe.
yeah, it's my truth, Kev.
Yeah.
You can't tell me nothing.
You can't tell me nothing. I'm going to
That's
believe it anyway.
when somebody gets proven wrong and everyone knows that they're wrong and they have nothing else to say. Well, it's just my truth. Well, but your truth is wrong.
No, it's my truth.
But there's facts, right? No,
No.
it's my truth.
You can't tell me.
You can't tell me nothing.
I got this.
The girl on Big Brother does that a lot. My truth, the one with the chew in the mouth, if she's
Christy.
Yeah, anytime she's wrong. But my truth, I'm like, well, your truth is wrong, though.
I hate watch her, and I can't wait to see what they're going to do next.
I'm kind of with you on that.
This cast is not great, but I really like to hate watch them.
So this girl on Big Brother, Kev, she kind of has figured out America does not like her, and she finds
Even
that out.
from inside the house, she
America
knows that?
can vote on stuff.
Yeah.
And if America doesn't like you, they vote for bad stuff to happen to you. So 2 things in a row have gone not her way. And she's like, I think America doesn't like
So
me.
she knows that
okay,
America's
so you're
putting
gonna
her.
hit-
Yeah.
yeah.
So she's like, she finds out in the confessional booth. She's like, I just guess America doesn't. I don't think they like me. She just starts fucking losing her mind.
I wonder why they don't like you.
Yeah.
And she's just real nasty or terrible? What's her thing?
I think
She's grating.
She's just annoying.
Annoying. She gets on your last nerve. It's just, but I hate watch it. I can't wait to see what she's going to do next. She's causing a little drama. I love her drama.
Those shows need people like that.
She's blowing up people's game.
Yeah.
I would do anything. Just 1 season of Big Brother. That is my dream. More than Wheel of Fortune, I'd rather be on Big Brother.
Really?
Yeah. Oh, fuck yeah. Only thing that would suck is being away from the show.
You could be the old guy on the show.
I would be. I've already talked to Denny's and Jen about this. We're watching last season.
Or Jenny's.
And they were making fun of the one old fuck on the show last time, and the guy was 2 years younger than me. I'm like, you fucking young millennial. But I would be the old guy on the show.
What's your strategy? How do you win it?
I think.
You'd be a comp beast.
No, I don't know about that. I don't think I would be a comp beast. I think I would try
What is it? What'd you say it was?
competition beast.
Comp beast.
I don't know what that means.
That means like they have competitions and they play games. They do challenges, physical. A lot of them require some physicality.
And it's not always best to win a challenge. Sometimes you want to kind of take a dive, because if you win it now, you are in charge. And there's some weeks where you shouldn't be in charge. It's too much blood on your hand. We've talked too long about Big Brother. I can tell. We're losing Kevin.
No,
Kevin's
I'm trying to hear
trying.
your strategy. I want to find out what you do. So
I would try
it's
to-
not necessarily best to be great at the competitions.
I would try to do a good social game and
Okay.
try to get people on my side that
You
way.
would you do a showmance?
No. Fuck no. I would not do a showman. Everyone that does a showman, they end up losing.
They all say that going in. I'm not doing a showmance. And then some hot girls diddling your balls, and all of a sudden you're in a showmance.
Okay, I'll do a showmance.
That's how they get you.
A little diddling of the balls would work.
If you knew a camera was in your room, would you still jerk off?
No. That's the one thing I'd think of.
I don't think anybody jerks off, but I think they do get. They definitely get busy.
So there's been different weird scandals. Can't prove it, but there have been people who have been outed of jerking off in there.
Really?
Yeah, there's been some, but you can't prove it though. There's moving of the blanket. There has been some definitely porking.
Oh
There
yeah,
has,
there's
okay.
porking.
There was porking on Love Island.
A Big Brother baby was just born.
Oh, that's right. Yeah. There's definitely porking. Last year, a couple got pregnant in the house.
Wow.
Yes.
On Big Brother or Love Island?
Big
Brother.
Brother.
Big Brother, okay.
Yeah, and Love Island, I think a few people totally hit it.
Oh, Love Island. I mean, I'm sure they're just bopping every night. It's every night on Love Island has to be like the fantasy suites on The Bachelor.
Okay.
Kim G with another zinger. He doesn't even do real life romance. Why would he do showmance? Zinger.
Yeah.
Kim G got a lot to say today.
The Big Brother house is only 3 months. Bird can do 3 months.
Fuck yeah. I'm strong mentally.
We get to watch you all the time. Fun to check out.
So how would that work though? Would you? I mean, I'd come back to the show, right? It doesn't mean I.
Oh, yeah, of course. Yeah,
I could
you
take a
definitely come back
4-month
to the show.
break?
Yeah, we'd watch him, probably break it down, talk about it, and, you know.
I think it'd be huge.
Oh,
I dare you to go in the showers and jerk off, but make eye contact with the camera.
first one who's ever done it.
First one.
Making eye contact with America.
Let everybody see your cum
America,
face.
And give us a countdown.
America, I'm jerking off
And
to
in
you.
5, 4, 3. Yeah, what's he doing? Yeah.
America, I'm jerking off to you because you're so beautiful.
It'd be interesting.
Oh,
How America would take that.
they would
America.
not. They wouldn't take it well.
America, I'm about to get you pregnant. I like it. Kathy sent this in here about Kevin the Gang, intermittent fasting. You know, it's kind of weird. My diet's kind of gravitated into this stuff where I was just reading stuff. So you're getting older, less calories, blah, 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 and then the intermittent fasting. And, you know, so I'm trying to keep it under a certain level. And then I read that article I talked about last week on the show about, you know, maybe a 14-hour gap and then 8 hours where you can eat kind of in that gap. And lunch should be your biggest meal. Don't necessarily eat right before bed. So I'm kind of getting all these things down. But I remember the last time when I did the Atkins diet back in the 90s and I didn't read the whole thing and I thought I could eat ribs and beer and drink beer the entire time and put on 30 pounds.
What happened?
I'm like, oh, this Atkins diet's crap. And I didn't read the book and didn't really fully understand it. That's kind of where I am right now with intermittent fasting. And she said, I heard you talking about it and I've been following the fast diet. And here's a real quick Cliff Note version if you're thinking about doing it. They suggest a 5-day 2-day fasting diet with 500 calories for women, 600 for men on the fasting days, where you eat lean protein, lots of veggies and fruit, and low glycemic index, drink water, tea, hot or cold coffee. No calorie drinks are best. You fast at least 16 hours and eat breakfast at 11 a.m. and dinner by 7 p.m., and you try not to snack between meals. Just drink fluids.
Okay.
The 2 days don't have to be together either. So that's something different you can do. And we are so used as humans to eating when we feel the slightest bit hungry, but we've forgotten what the feeling of an empty stomach is. And I've always heard that when you feel hungry and ignore it, you're losing weight.
Oh.
Whoa, wow. Okay. All right. Mind bomb.
That'll get in your head.
Yep.
I mean, it's really not that big of a secret how to lose weight.
I know, but they're like little tips, little nuggets, little mind nuggets. Maybe you're mad because you don't have that big of a brain.
Are you talking about me? Is that an insult?
Wait, what's going
They're
on? there?
mind nuggets,
Wait,
and
what?
he's confused.
I don't like my nugget. I like chicken McNuggets.
Tara sent this too about Kevin's beer bloat, listening to the podcast, and Kevin complained about his beer bloat, having to back off some. I love my own fair share of beer, and I understand the bloat. I've started doing an exercise that works the transverse abdominis called the stomach vacuum. Look up some videos because there is no explaining it. Ever since I did, I hardly ever see my beer bloat. Hope it helps. Okay, so
What's
look
it
up
called?
the transverse abdominis or the stomach vacuum. So I guess if you go to YouTube and look up stomach vacuum or the abdominis, M-I-N-I-S, transverse abdominis.
Stomach vacuum.
Okay. Sounds like a wind removing pose or something like that in yoga where you just fart a lot or something.
What if you could fart and your stomach would go completely like flat? Oh my
But you have to do it in a
gosh.
room. Yeah, imagine that. You can get rid of any pudge, but you have to let a 3-minute long fart that smells like nuclear waste.
In front of people you're attracted to. That would be the
In
worst.
front of, if you had to rank out who you find most attractive in life, the top 10.
That would be rough. But after you fart, man,
You're
you look
good.
You are
great.
shredded. You look amazing. Your body looks fantastic.
I do it in a heartbeat.
I think I take that deal.
Just-
I fart in here any day, anyway.
But 10 people that you'd be like, oh, I'm so embarrassed. Like you find really attractive, and you would be embarrassed and
No,
mortified.
I'm doing it. Keep your eyes on the prize.
I can shed embarrassment pretty quick.
Yeah, me too.
In the moment, it may be uncomfortable, but 90 seconds later,
Yeah.
I look great. I'm ripped.
Okay.
I'll even just go for make my titties look a little bit more proportioned and just give me a little bit off my gut. I don't even have to look that great.
You'll just take a little bit,
I'll
huh?
take a little bit.
He's got real
I
low
will
standards.
fart on you for just a little.
Such low standards.
God, Alexandria sent in an email, said, I think y'all will definitely love these. The Natty Light seltzers. It says, Aloha beaches. It's when mango and peach go beach. Natural Light. I remember I would drink that crap in high school and college. Natty Light.
It was pretty
Cheap.
affordable.
If I remember right, when I was in high school, I think $5 for a 12-pack is what I paid.
Not too bad.
And I remember we would go down to this apartment complex. It was the low rent-controlled apartment complexes in Logan.
Yeah.
It was called Elm Court. And so we would go down there. We met this guy named Tony, but he's illiterate and couldn't read. So whatever beer we get would just come in a blue box. So we'd either get Bush or Natty Light. You never knew. So it always a fun game. Like, what do you think we're getting, Bush or Natty Light?
Oh.
You come out. Yeah, we're like going, Tony, this is an N. Can you go for the one that has the big N on it? I remember. And one time we got real hammered. My buddy still make fun of me for it going, I remember that time you got really hammered and you laid in bed with Tony and tried to teach him how to read.
Oh. Look at you.
That kind of warms my heart.
That was the drunk tutor.
That's pretty awesome. Gosh.
But why were you in bed?
I don't know. They had this apartment. There wasn't a lot of room to sit down. So sometimes you had to go sit on the bed. And I remember his girlfriend's name. Her name was Big Tam. Big Tammy was her name. And
Okay.
then her daughter, who was like 10 from somebody else, not Tony, they called her Lil Tam. So you
Okay.
had Big Tam and Lil Tam. And then you had Tony.
Oh, Tony.
But he went by T-Rex.
Of course he did.
So he had T-Rex, Big Tam, and Lil Tam.
Oh.
And that's where we would hang on the weekends.
Logan needed its own sitcom, like a reality show.
Pretty impressive, yeah. Some good stuff.
I mean, I'd like to do a reality show of Logan, but I would like to go back in time and do it.
Yeah.
When you grew up.
And I remember Big Tam, her brother, he had a massive speech impediment and also a bicycle with no seat. So he would come in big going, my behind Thor. And we're like, what's going on? Because he would ride over, and when he hit a bump, he'd aspirate himself this bump. And so he would come in with a weird walk. And we go, did you hit a bump again? He's like, yeah, the hit a bump. And it's like, yeah. It's quite an interesting place.
I got to get up to Logan.
Yeah, I'll have to take you there sometime.
Just for the pizza crossing alone.
I'd love to go down and see if Elm Court's still standing, if T-Rex is still there and Big Tam. And I mean, Lil Tam is probably now Big Tam too.
How old is Little Tam now?
60.
Lil
60. They age fast.
She was born in the 70s, but somehow
Physically.
she's 60.
Somehow she passed you up.
her physical age is 68.
She's in her 30s.
She would be probably about late 30s.
Yeah.
Late
Okay.
30s, early 40s, yeah.
Roughly around my age.
Yeah, dateable.
Can you imagine?
Jay Bird and Lil Tam.
We go to Logan and he hooks up with Lil Tam.
And it's the love of his life.
We got to keep that on the down low.
Wow. That would be something.
Pizza Crossing was voted best in Ohio, correct?
Somebody sent me that. Yeah, there was a place that was voted best pizza in Ohio. Yeah.
That's crazy.
Yeah, it's really pretty amazing. And you know what? It reminds me a good bit of Camille's. They're very similar. Yeah, I think
Okay.
you'd probably go. I think so, because when you gave me Camille's, I'm like, wow, this is very similar to Pizza Crossing.
I got to get you
What I
Camille's
remember.
when it's real warm and hot, like right out of the oven.
Okay.
Little man date this weekend?
Yeah, I got a bicycle with no seat.
That would be awful.
Ride around and rape yourself.
Yeah, I said, I think you'll definitely love the Natty Light seltzers. They're very smooth, more alcohol per volume at 6% rather than 5%, and they're less expensive. Boy, if you thought White Claw was bad.
Metal Beard Dan saying Four Loko is doing a seltzer, too. Does Four Loko have alcohol in it? Or is that just energy?
I think it does because we always find it because, my wife, she works at DAF and Del Rey Drug Abuse Foundation, and my buddy Sean, we do a church thing there, so we got to go and we got to clean up around. And so my wife and I are picking up all the needles, and there's always cans of Four Loko out there because apparently people, before they go into rehab, they always try to knock down as much booze and heroin as they can, I guess. I don't know.
God, yeah, be careful with those needles.
Yeah, no, I let her deal with it.
Okay, I was going to say, for a guy who's a germaphobe, a heroin needle would be top of the list.
She got on a thick rubber glove, and I'm like, you know how to handle that. You can deal with that.
I would.
Yeah, we see it. So the Four Loko must have alcohol in it.
I'd be so paranoid with those needles. I wouldn't even do it with a glove. I'd get one of those little clamp thingies. There's no way.
Oh, I know how she does it. I wouldn't do it. I'm like, you're
Hell
crazy.
no.
Even with a rubber glove on.
I wouldn't do it with a
I ain't
rubber
touching
glove. That would be all in my head.
That's in her job. She has to do that.
No, we do it because it's we're putting on the church there on Sunday nights, and so if people are rolling up to church and all you see is needles and cans of Four Loko everywhere.
I get how it's
This church is awesome.
I get how it's not the holiest of looks.
It's kind of a weird convergence of just 20 feet away, you got people that are right now on heroin, and then you got other people trying to find Jesus on the other side.
Throwdown church.
In fact, the funny thing was they didn't realize it last week when we were there. Somebody had showed up for rehab, and the people were letting people into the church, didn't realize it, and they walked this drunk woman into the church service. She's like going, wow, it's so nice you guys gave me an umbrella. She's like, but where do I go to check in? And they're like,
whoopsie.
Check into what? She's like, I'm here to dry out. And they're like, oh, okay. So they had to walk her out of the church and around to the, so there's a lot of confusion now that happens where half of the congregation now is on heroin, and we're trying to get them in the right place. So people showing up for church wind up in a bed in rehab, and then it's just confusing.
I've never had the Four Loko ever. I don't think I've had it one time in my life. They're saying it's 14% alcohol.
Dang.
Wow.
I mean, that's more than the White Claw.
That's insane.
Way more. That's more than the full gorilla.
That is. That can't be 14%. Now we got to get these.
That's like as strong as wines.
You want to do a little Four Loko Friday?
No.
No.
I don't know if I can handle it.
I don't think we're here Friday.
Oh, we're not.
Maybe we are. I don't know.
No, we're not. Kevin's going to the Buckeye game.
Yeah, got an early flight on Friday.
You do? What time you leave?
My wife loves 5 a.m. flights. We're in Columbus by 10, something like that.
Wow.
Yeah, I'll be in Columbus by the end of the show. Yeah, on Friday.
Can you sleep on the plane or no?
Cannot.
I can't either, man.
It's
It's terrible. I can't sleep in planes or cars.
I can if I'm tired, but I got to bring a pillow. It's a whole production. I got to bring my own pillow, my own blanket.
You see what happens when I fall asleep in a car? I go under for a little bit, and then I punch somebody.
He punched me one time when I was driving. I should have punched his ass
It
back.
was an accident.
I know. Just kidding.
I was going through a dark time.
Megan had asked here, said, we need an update on Kevin's neighborhood art. Has he hung the clothes and the White Claws out there yet? I don't know what it was, but I was heading home, I think it was on Monday, and I was going to go get the clothes and then hang it on that grotesque art, which you can see the photo we posted up on Facebook. They put this art monstrosity, I don't even know really what it was. I couldn't tell if it was an antenna or
It's like in
something
the middle of a
that.
traffic circle,
Yeah.
though, and you can tell they're supposed to be landscaping it, but they haven't.
The grass has grown knee high. The orange safety fence that was around it is fallen over. They abandoned it for about 2 months.
It looks crappy.
And then Monday, I'm driving home. There were 2 guys there kind of working on it again. I'm like, holy crap. And then yesterday, when I was driving home, they took the orange fence down, and now they're back working on it again.
Huh.
So I don't know.
Maybe
if
they
it was
heard
just,
you.
I don't know if they heard, and somebody's like, I think that guy's talking
Ralston's
about us.
upset. We got to make some moves.
Well, I think even more than the radio, it really on social media, people in the area were like, yeah, and they really started bitching. I saw I was getting some shares. I'm like, that actually might get to somebody who's like, yeah, what are we doing?
Why is this sitting here like this?
Yeah.
These people have to drive past it, and they're getting pissed.
Yeah, so that it honestly
Look
could
at
have been
you.
that.
You're kind of the Aaron Brockovich of the village.
Yeah, we'll see what happens. I'm just kind of curious to find out what the eventual outcome is going to be of this thing. What is its purpose? What is it doing?
He's the Aaron Brockovich of the villages. I'm the Corey Feldman of the villages.
Oh. Corey dropped a new video, and it's awesome.
I was making Kevin and Virginia listen to it. He's covering the Beatles and fuck.
Oh, he got a lot of balls, first of all.
John Lennon's pissed.
He should be.
Stephanie from Pompano is got a question here. I remember when Kevin had said that Virginia had a big announcement. The announcement was her and her husband were getting a divorce way back in the day. And now I'm listening. I hear you're married with Panda. I hear Jason talk about how he knew Panda before. Just a quick update. I'm curious to know how you met Panda. If you knew him before, either way, Virginia, you sound so happy. I'm happy for you. But I'm just being a nosy Rosie. So.
Can you do it in 10 seconds or less? Because we've told this story about 3,000 times. Can you do it like Kevin does?
I can try, but he's really good.
He's so good.
I'm too long-winded.
You are, okay, let's...
First of all, let me break down the first hour.
We did do this last time, and it was supposed to be 10 seconds, and it was 2 minutes. Can you, in 10 seconds, break it down? Let's see if
I'll try.
You can do this.
How long does she have? 10 seconds?
Okay, you want to give her more?
10? I can't tell nothing in 10.
Okay, I'll give you 30.
Okay, third.
Okay, ready? On your mark, set, and go.
There was a charity event. Panda was there for the TV station. I was there for Little Smiles. He was interviewing one of the sick kids, and then he let her interview him, and I was like, oh my gosh, I really like this Panda guy. And I came to work and told Jason about this Panda guy that I met, and he's like, oh my gosh, I went to school with him. And I'm like, no way, let's all go on a date together. So we did. We went to Rachel's. We fell in love by the strip club buffet.
Okay, all right. You did that in 20 seconds.
Left out major details.
Yeah.
Kevin's better.
You can go fuck yourself.
Oh, okay. Yes. Metal Beer Dan. He's like, yes, definitely got to know. What was it that you were going to have Denny's lick? That Virginia had brought up, said, Kevin, just for the record, Kevin shooting down my idea.
Because
yes.
I thought it was so awful.
I thought it was awful, but I also thought it was kind of confusing too, slightly.
It requires telling a story.
It does, and I wasn't sure. My fear about that was Kevin asked me for a thing to lick, and then we go with that, and he doesn't want to tell the story, and then it's...
Well, no, we had to run it by him first.
I know, sometimes it happens on the air, though.
That one couldn't have happened on the air.
Well, at the beer fest that we'd had, the Palm Beach Summer Beer Fest in July, somebody had gotten on the couch and got sick and threw up on it. And so there was a conversation about whether or not we keep the couch or just ditch the couch. It was a nice black leather couch.
It's brown.
Is it brown?
It is.
Oh, okay. And the lighting there looked black. So anyway, we've got a couch, dark colored. And so I was like, well, it's nice, but we wound up seeing it here at the station.
They brought it back.
And we're like, okay, did it get properly disinfected? And we don't know. And so that was just...
This is radio. There's no way it was.
Yeah, so Virginia was going to have Denny's lick the cushion that had questionably the barf on it. And I was like, if it wasn't clean and he's licking like remnants of barf, and it's a cushion, which is tougher.
And it's no one on the show's barf. It's one thing if it's like my barf or your barf.
Yeah.
It's not within the family.
I get it. Look, I came in here asking questions, and I always defer to Kevin because he's like rational and shit. So
you have to be. You're in charge. You have to be somewhat rational.
And I was like, okay. And I know people are like going, oh, he's a fuddy-duddy, shooting down all the fun ideas. I was just like, yeah, but sometimes there are things I've done the green light for, and then quickly you can see just a mass majority of the audience is like, this ain't cool, man. This ain't funny. And you're like, this is a bad place to be. Like,
it's the worst.
Yeah.
The worst is being live in a bit when it's not going well.
And you're just like, and I can't really justify it. Yeah, you had Denny's licking barf. And you're like,
you fucking dick face.
Yeah. It didn't feel right. So I was just like, yeah, I thought that.
That's what somebody called me when we did the licking thing. Jay Bird, this is too far with the pubic hair. You fucking dick face is what they call me.
Yes, so that is what it was. And I was like, let's, But I mean, we started with a dog bone for Jay Bird. That was week 1.
Yeah.
And where we're going, I'm like, okay, if that's the point, I mean, by the time we get to Suits next week, I'm just going to have to shit on a plate and be like,
It's one of those bits, Kev, where we kind of got there where this might be the last week because there's not much other. We can't go.
All we have left is Suits. So we've all done it, but it definitely has gotten considerably worse from week to week.
It's just getting darker with what we want to do, and that's because we're running out of shit to lick.
Yes. So there you go. So that is what it was. So for Metal Beard Dan and people that were curious.
I got some ideas for suits this week.
All right,
I'll bounce them off you before we go on the air.
let's talk about these ideas that are not going to ever make the air.
I can't even say I'm on the podcast.
What? Then we're not going to do it if you can't even say it. So what is it?
No. I
Okay.
can't say it.
Write it down.
Write it down. He's got to know.
I got to know now.
He's gotta know
it's
now.
It's like the whole human brain. You got to close that circle.
Okay.
Yeah.
And I'll on a scale of 1 to fucking ridiculous, I'll tell you what it is.
Okay. Her next idea for suits for What Did I Lick for next week.
I mean, she's writing a paragraph,
Yeah.
so hold on. I mean, for shitting, yeah. There's no way we could do that.
No.
It's to the point where you're right. I can't even.
I can't even say it.
Can't even say it, huh? Okay.
But just know,
Yeah.
we could go there. We're choosing not to.
No, we could actually never go there.
Right.
We could never go. That is such an insane idea. What she just wrote down.
I can only imagine.
Yeah.
Okay. All right.
That's where my mind goes. I'm sorry.
Crazy.
All right. Well, anything you want to comment on, you can send us those emails, mail@kvjshow.com, including your thoughts about the podcasting that we're doing and how we're breaking it up. And what Denny's is trying to figure out is if we helped people with their podcast app, could we get it so it would work the proper way for you, where you could start at the 6 o'clock and then it just run all the way through like it normally does seamlessly, and you wouldn't even notice that it's broken up into 5 different segments. That's what we'd like to see happen. And if we can make that happen for everybody and you're like going, okay, it's all good, I figured out how to do it, then cool. That's a win-win. So let us know if you could do that, and if you need any help, we'll try to walk everybody through the process of making this good. So send us those emails. All right, we'll talk to y'all tomorrow. Have a great day. Goodbye.
Cleveland Clinic, Florida provides individualized treatment plans for excellent outcomes of health problems, ranging from the most common to the most complex, even in cases considered untreatable by others. Cleveland Clinic, Florida. Every life deserves world-class care.